بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Welcome to EduPark Learning Hub. Today our topic is Cartesian coordinates. Chapter number 8, exercise 6b. First of all, discuss the terms we are to use in this exercise. A Cartesian plane is a graph with one axis, x-axis and one y-axis. These two axes are perpendicular to each other. This is Cartesian plane. This is horizontal line on both sides is called x-axis and this vertical line is called y-axis. These two lines are perpendicular to each other. They have right angle. The origin O is in the exact center of the graph. This is origin, the center point. Here the origin coordinates are 0, 0. X-axis, on x-axis the point is 0 and on the y-axis the point is exact 0 here. Now, what are Cartesian coordinates? Cartesian coordinates are the number which indicates the location of a point relative to a fixed reference point, the origin, being its shortest perpendicular distance from two fixed points. So, here if we have a point, any point on the Cartesian plane, then this is known as Cartesian coordinate. It has distance from x-axis and distance from y-axis, and this is the basically this distance is the shortest distance to be measured. Now, this is your Cartesian plane. Here this is x-axis and this is vertical y-axis. We have chosen points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on the y-axis. Here on the origin, the x point and the y point, both coordinates are 0. Now you are to tell the position of anybody in the room. So what preposition you will use? That the door is on the right side of the room, the scenery is at the back of the wall, and the pillow is on the bed. So by using this preposition, you just inform the position of a thing that the other person can easily understand. Similarly, on Cartesian plane, we use coordinates in order to locate the position of the graph. So suppose that there is a point on the Cartesian plane here, but how you will inform other that the point is here? Because in mathematics we can't say that things are here and there, we must give the number. So here, what is the distance on the vertical on the x-axis? Here 1 unit and the 2 unit. So the point is 2 unit away from the x-axis here from the origin. Basically this is the distance from the origin parallel to this. Now on y-axis, on vertical line, here are 3 units. So how will locate the position of this point on Cartesian plane? By saying that it has coordinate 2 and 3. So 2, 3 actually determine the position of this point on the Cartesian plane. So here is another point, suppose here on this Cartesian plane. So what are the Cartesian coordinate? 5 on x-axis and 5 point on y-axis, 5, 5. So these are Cartesian coordinates that gives you the position of the point on the Cartesian plane. Now, here is question number 1. That on a sheet of graph paper using a scale of 1 centimeter to represent 1 unit on x-axis and 1 centimeter to represent 2 units on y-axis. Draw the graph of each of the following function for values of x from 0 to 4. Y is equal to x plus 8. And the second part of the question is that what do you notice about the lines you have drawn in question number A. Here in exercise 6A, you have learned how to solve the function. Here, function that is given to you is y is equal to 2x plus 8. So, values that are given us are from 0 to 4 for the x. So, our first step is to set up a table of values for x and y. These pairs of values for x and y satisfy the equation of the function. So, here we have found the values. By substituting the value of x in this function, we get the value of y, that is 4. So, for all values of x, here is a set of values for y. The scale is already given in the question that we are to use 1 centimeter is equal to 1 unit on x-axis and 1 centimeter is equal to 2 units on y-axis. Here I would like to tell you that the scale gives the size of the graph, while these coordinates determines the shape of the graph because it gives the position. These are the coordinate points and these points give the position to the graph, the shape of the graph. However, this scale gives you the size of the graph. Suppose that we have chosen that 2 centimeter are 1 unit. 1 is here and 2 is here. Then this point will move from here to here. So the size will increase, but the shape and the position will remain the same because the position and the shape depends on the coordinates points. In this Cartesian plane, we have taken the points, taken the scale, and we have the points here in this table that if x is equal to 0, then y is equal to 8. So here x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 8. Next, when x is equal to 1, then y is equal to 10. X is equal to 2, then y is equal to 12. X is equal to 3 and y is equal to 14. X is equal to 4, then y is equal to 16 here. Now, we have joined all these points for Cartesian coordinates 0, 8 here, 1, 10, 1 for x and 10 for y, 2 for x and 12 for y, 3 for x and 14 for y, 4 for x and 16 for y. Now, by joining all these points, we get this graphic line. Now, the second part was to determine the notice about the line. So, you notice that this line is basically a straight line. Now, the B part of the question number 1, that on a sheet of graph paper using a scale of 1 centimeter to represent 1 unit on x-axis and 1 centimeter to represent 2 units on y-axis, draw the graph of each of the following function for values of x from 0 to 4. Now the function given to us in this question is y is equal to 2x plus 2. Let's start by substituting the values in this function. We get that if x is equal to 0, then y is equal to 2. X is equal to 1, then y is equal to 4. X is equal to 2, then y is equal to 6, and so on. We have this table, the set of the all values. Now, here we have taken again the same scale on the Cartesian plane and by taking this table of values. So, When x is equal to 0, y is equal to 2. So x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 2 here. Now x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 4. When x is equal to 1, so choose when y is equal to 4. 4 is here, so 1 is here. And x is equal to 2 here on x-axis, and the distance on y-axis is 6. So they meet there. When x is equal to 3 on x-axis, then y is equal to 8 on y-axis. So they meet on this point. So by taking all these points and joining these points, we have this straight line. Again, now here's question number 5. That on a sheet of graph paper using a scale of 2 cm to represent 1 unit on x-axis and 1 cm to represent 1 unit on y-axis, draw the graph of each of the function. The function here given to us is y is equal to 6 minus 3x, and the set of the values for x is from minus 3 to plus 3. The second part of the question is that the point a0, minus 2b and c 1.5 lie on the graph. Find the value of b, a, b and c. So same, you will take the function and you are to put the values of x in this function, in this equation, and by substituting these values of x in this equation, we get a set of values for y. Here if x is equal to minus 3, y is equal to 15, x is equal to minus 2, then y is equal to 12, x is equal to minus 1, then y is equal to 9, x is equal to 0, then y is equal to 3, x is equal to 1, then y is equal to 3. If x is equal to 2, then y is equal to 0, and if x is equal to 3, then y is equal to minus 3. Scale. Here, as per the given condition, we have to choose the scale that 2 cm is equal to 1 unit on x-axis and 1 cm is equal to 1 unit on y-axis. I would like to remind you again that the scale is just to determine the size of the graph. It doesn't matter what scale is given to you. It will just give you that how much bigger your graph is or how much shorter your graph is. But the shape of the graph doesn't depend on the scale. Here you can see that basically if we see the Cartesian plane, then there are 4 quadrants: quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. So basically all the Cartesian plane is divided into 4 quadrants. So in first quadrant, both x-axis and y-axis both are positive. In the second quadrant, the values of x is negative and the value of y is positive. In the quadrant 3, both x and y values are negative, and in the quadrant 4, the x is positive and the y is negative. To memorize easily, you can see that x is positive in right side and x is negative on left side of the Cartesian plane. Similarly, for values of y, the values of y are positive if they are in upper direction from origin, and the values of y are negative in the lower part of the Cartesian plane. So as per scale, we have chosen positive value here for x and y because both values are positive in first quadrant. Now for the negative values of x, here x is negative, y is positive, and here y is negative but x is positive. Now take the scale and point out the positions of the points. So as per the given condition, when x was minus 3, then y was 15. X is here minus 3 and y is 15 here. When x was minus 2, then y was 12. X was minus 1, then y was 9. When x was 0, then y was 6. When x is 1, then y is 3. X is 2, then y becomes 0. So here, now when x is 3, then y is minus 3, negative. So by joining all these points, we get a straight line again. Here. Now I hope that you have learned to draw the graph, how to draw the graph. Basically, our purpose of this video. Let's move towards the second portion of the question. The points a0, minus 2b and c 1.5 lie on the graph. Find the value of a, b and c. It is quite easy. This is your graph and these points lies on this straight line because this is our graph. This is Cartesian plane and this is graph. This line is graph. So first, this point say that here when y is equal to 0, what should be x? So we can easily get that on this straight line, when y is equal to 0, then x is equal to 2. So a is equal to 2, that is missing. Now next, minus 2b, but it means that when x is equal to minus 2, that what should be the y coordinate? Here you can see that x is equal to minus 2. So when x is equal to minus 2, then y is equal to 12. So b is equal to 12. Now third one is c 1.5. But it means that when y is equal to 1.5, then what is the value of x coordinate? Here you can see from the graph that on y-axis this is 1, this is 2. So 1.5 is between 1 and 2, the midpoint of the 1 and 2. So if we move it on this straight line, then we find that on y-axis, on x-axis, x is also 1.5. So here the c is 1.5. In this way you can get all the 3 points. A is equal to 2, b is equal to 12 and c is equal to 1.5 as required by the question. Thank you so much.